My mother was the queen of telling positive stories. She had a theory that people would be whatever you told them they were. So she told us we were smart. She told us we were kind. She told us we were thoughtful, even when there were 5 of us beating each other up, writing on the walls and telling lies. She told these wonderful stories to us about ourselves. Here's an example. It was the day before Mother's Day. The 5 of us decided that this was the year we were going to get Mom something special. We were ages from like 6 to 13. And so we all gathered all of our nickels and quarters and dimes and pennies, and we put them in our pockets, and we got on our bikes, and we rode down to the florist shop next to the Safeway grocery store. And imagine the florist when she sees 5 kids get off their bikes. We dumped them on the sidewalk, and we all walked in their store. She said, I bet you're here to get your mother something nice. It was like she was, psychotic. And so we said, that's what we're here for. We said, what you got? She said, show me your money. So we dropped all these coins all over her glass counter. She's counting up the money as we look around the store. She's got us sized up. She sees how much money we have. And she goes, I've got just the thing for you. It's called an orchid. Have you ever seen an orchid before? We never had. It's a beautiful flower. It's this elegant, exotic. It was a white orchid with a little bit of pink on the inside, a little bit of pink on the outside. It was the most exquisite, beautiful thing we'd ever seen, and we knew it was perfect for our mother. So we said, how much? She said, it happens to cost exactly what you dropped on my counter. So I don't know if she gave us a deal or she ripped us off, but we took the orchid. And we're walking out. The 5 of us are walking out the door, and she says, hey, go straight home. This is an orchid. This is not a sunflower. This is an orchid. It needs to be cool. Don't stop at the store and stop at the school and play basketball. Don't stop at the creek and look for frogs. Take this thing home. Keep it safe. Keep it cool. So we did. We rode our bikes straight home, and we took this orchid and we wrapped it in a brown paper sack so my mother wouldn't know what it was, and we stuck it in the freezer. Where were you? That was a bad idea. That was David's idea, not mine. But anyway, we put it in the freezer to keep it cold. We got up the next morning. We're gathered around the breakfast table in the kitchen. And we're all looking around, and we pull this flower thinking, Mama's going to love us. We pull it out, and it's brown and wilted. And just then, Mom walks in the door. What you doing? Nothing. Do you have something special for me? No. I bet you do. So we all stood back and we let her look at the flower. And she said, oh. You shouldn't have done that. And we were so dejected. And she said, you spent way too much money on me. I thought, all right, Mom's stupid. And she said, that's not just an orchid. That's a brown African orchid. We said, no, Mom, yes, it is. I know you won't admit it. You probably spent all the money you had, but that's a brown African orchid, and I will be the talk of church today. She said, David, pin that orchid on me. And David pinned the orchid on her, and she wore it to Sunday school and to church and the pancake house after. And on the way to the pancake house, we just thought we'd test. We said, Mom, in case anybody straightened her out, right? We said, Mom, did anyone say anything about the flower? She said, oh, every woman in church commented on my flower. And I said, I know. I have the most thoughtful, generous, loving children that a mother could ever ask for. And we're all sitting in the country squire station wagon thinking to ourselves, You know, she's probably right. So my mom had a choice at that moment, right? She could tell the story. It'd be a funny story about her 5 idiot children who froze her orchid to death. And she'd be telling the truth. Or she could tell the story of 5 little kids who spent every nickel they had to show their mom how much they loved her. And my mom decided to tell the story of how much we loved her. Both stories were true. We choose the stories that we're going to tell. She didn't tell us we were great because of what we'd done or what we were going to become. She told us we were great because she saw infinite value in us. She loved us anyway.